Part of the magic of being a wedding planner is that when guests arrive, everything is perfect. It's set up, it's complete, it's sparkling. But what no one gets to see is what happens the days leading up to the wedding, or even the day of, that makes a fairy tale wedding come to life. So the load in and prep for this wedding, just the week of, day of, was over 30 hours for my team and myself. So that includes prepping all of the table linens, all of the napkins, that's ironing, that's folding, that's counting everything, making sure we have it enough. All of the place cards, we had to go through and make sure that we weren't missing any names, which we were, and last minute we're FedExing from New York a handful of place cards to make sure our guests had their names on the table. That goes with prepping all the decor, running all the errands, creating all the favors. We had 2 favors for this wedding, so that's cutting all of the string and tying it all and making sure the tag's on there and making sure that every single favor is complete and ready to go and be given to a guest. So Sabrina and Brandon came to me in the spring of 2019 looking for a wedding planner, and when I met with my sweet bride, she shared that there were 3 things she wanted for her special day. She wanted to have an over-the-top celebration, she wanted to wow her guests, and at the end of the day, she wanted to feel like a princess. So those 3 things are what made us the perfect planner-client match, because those are what I specialize in. So by the time we had this over-the-top celebration planned, it was all said and done, it was about 4 months. Their wedding was August 3rd, they hired me in the spring. So it was such a short time frame, but it didn't intimidate me. Planned my own wedding in 3.5 months for 500 guests, so I was up for the task, I was excited, and the end product was worth everything. During one of our first design meetings, my bride shared with me that she wanted to do the Geode Agate rock theme. Now in Southern Oregon, when that theme is used, it's generally done in like a boho theme, very earthy farm tables, things like that. So here, she really wanted to do something different. She wanted to do over the top, she wanted to do sparkly, she wanted to do glam, and I obviously loved all of that. So I wanted to design something different. So starting with the table linens, you know, the space that we're in, it's this luxurious vineyard winery space. So how do I was thinking, how do I translate that? Like, how do I create this design, but yet complement the space? You know, I couldn't create a design that looked out of place. So I decided to go with a satin navy linen on the tables. And that was kind of a way of being a little understated for the room, but like complementing the space at the same time, yet being a little elevated for what you normally see at a wedding in Southern Oregon. And then when it came to, you know, the place settings, we wanted to pair it with a metallic gold charger because our accent was gold throughout the design. So where can we put hints of gold in? So that was one of our locations. When it came to the linens for the napkins, I thought, okay, how can I really show something different? So I paired 2 napkins together. I did kind of a stacking. I did like the charger plate, a navy napkin, the dinner plate, and then an aqua turquoise satin napkin holding the menu card. So totally new look, something fun but added dimension to the tables. And then our menu cards matched our invitation suite that we got from Minted. So they were the exact same. When a guest saw it, you know, everything subconsciously connected together from what they had seen when they're first invited to this celebration. Then on the tables, going further inside into the center, we wanted to make sure we incorporated the agate geode theme, but without overdoing it. You know, how do we have rocks in a design, but without overwhelming people with rocks? So we decided to do a geode table number. So every single table had a different geode, all blue, but a different style and look, and with a gold script on it. So that was really fun. And then I wanted to have dimension with our florals. So we had 3 different centerpieces created by Budding Inspiration. We had a short one, we had a medium size, and we had a super tall one. And that was a perfect touch to the tables. Throughout the space, however, to tie it all in, we decided to put florals on all of the chandeliers in the ballroom and then also in the bar. So we carried our theme throughout, made sure it all matched. Kate and her husband from Budding Inspiration, they created these gorgeous box chandelier type things that hung over our dance floor and right over our sweetheart table. So really fun to bring the ceiling down in that way. And then up at the ceremony site, because it was a castle. I mean, it's literally like a castle where they got married at. So we wanted to make sure that we went a little softer in that space, that we kept the fairy tale look going. So we kept it as white as possible with some hints of blush. In the florals, we had some hints of gold here and there, but we really kept it like really light and airy. And then once you got to the venue for the reception, that's where we hit you with some color and the mood changed and the atmosphere was more fun and celebratory at that point. You know, everywhere else we just mimicked what the rock shows with the transition of colors. With the cake, obviously was an agate cake, but everywhere else it was just colors. So I was like, where can we put in an actual rock? So we did agate slices for the place cards, found them from a designer in New York on Etsy, and there was a beautiful gold script. All of the guests were just like googly eyes over these place cards, and it definitely took my breath away when I opened the box and saw them after I got them from the mail. With this wedding, because it was so over the top and so beautiful, I wanted to make sure I had time to bring Sabrina into the space before the day really started to get going. So Sabrina walked in, and I will never forget that moment when she saw the space, and she just kept saying, like, this is more than I ever dreamed. I feel like such a princess. And I was just so thrilled when I saw her, because all my hard work, you know what, when you're planning a wedding, in my mind, I can picture it, but my clients can't always picture what the wedding day is gonna look like. So there's always that little bit of nervousness going into the wedding day, like how are they gonna react when they see it? And so when they see it and they're excited and they love it, like, whew, I did my job, like mission accomplished, you know? So when she walked in and we had tears and we had hugs and I showed her every single detail, like it was worth any stress that I have as a wedding planner, planning her day, any obstacles we had, any challenges, like it was all worth it in that moment, seeing her so happy and truly feeling like a fairy tale princess. For my bride, she doesn't get just a bridal attendant, she gets my lady in waiting. So she hangs out with the bride 3 hours prior to the wedding. She makes sure that she's on time. She makes sure that she isn't needing anything, makes sure she's drinking water, eating something. It's a long wedding day. Wedding days are long. And so she's making sure that the bride is ready to tackle the day, that she has her shoes on, that if she's having troubles getting her dress on, like she is there to zip it up or button it up, whatever is needed. So this group, they were not a huge dancing group, so we knew that ahead of time, and we decided to create a really fun s'mores bar, paired it with some really neat geometric tables that I got from Motif Event Rentals, and we got several different kinds of crackers, like cookie crackers, and several different types of chocolate, and just made it a fun little celebration. And one of my favorite memories was when I walked out and saw the groom Brandon like roasting a s'more over the fire. It was just like so fun to see. My job is a dream career, but it's also a lot of work. It's a lot of hours, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of time away from my husband, my family, my friends. At the end of the night, when I see the bride and groom smiling and giving me a hug saying this is the best day ever, when I see parents that were able to actually enjoy themselves, that they didn't have to worry about a single thing, that they actually danced, that they actually got to eat dinner, they actually got to hug their best friend from elementary school that came to the wedding, like all of that makes it worth it. usually leave in like tears, happy tears, because I know that it was all worth it, that all the hard moments or all the stress or just the long hours, like it was worth it in the end. And there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like this job.